Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the shadows to count down the top 10 creepiest mystery encounters. From ghostly apparitions to terrifying creatures, these are the stories that will keep you up at night. Let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Bell family of Tennessee. In the early 1800s, the Bell family of Tennessee lived a peaceful life until something sinister crept into their home. It started with mysterious knocks, tap, tap, tap in the dead of night, echoing through their farmhouse walls. At first they tried to ignore it, but then the whispers began. "Betsy, Betsy," the voice would call out to John Bell's daughter, making her blood run cold. The family watched in horror as their belongings moved on their own. Chairs sliding across floors, dishes flying through the air, as if manipulated by invisible hands. This wasn't your ordinary ghost story. The spirit grew violent, pinching, slapping, and pulling hair. It had a particular hatred for John Bell, and soon he fell mysteriously ill. His body weakened day by day, plagued by seizures and twitching. The locals whispered that the Bell Witch, as they called it, was responsible for John's death in 1820. But death didn't silence her. For years after, people claimed to hear her cackling voice carrying across the Tennessee countryside, a chilling reminder that some spirits never truly rest. Even today, the Bell Witch remains one of America's most haunting mysteries, leaving us to wonder, what really happened in that farmhouse all those years ago? At number 9, we travel to the swamps of South Carolina to meet the Bishopville swamp creature, or lizard man. Picture this. It's 1988 in the quiet town of Bishopville, South Carolina. A terrified teenager comes running out of the swamp, gasping for air, claiming he's just seen something that'll haunt him forever. A 7-foot-tall creature with scaly skin and glowing red eyes. But that was just the beginning. This wasn't your average bump in the night. The next morning, residents woke up to find their cars literally torn apart, as if some creature with incredible strength and razor-sharp claws had gone on a midnight rampage. The town went wild. Bishopville transformed overnight from a sleepy southern community to the center of a monster hunt. People were so desperate to catch the creature that reward posters offering $1 million started popping up everywhere. Sure, some folks later admitted to making up stories, trying to catch their 15 minutes of fame. But ask anyone who lives near those swamps today. They'll tell you that when night falls, something still moves in those shadows, something that makes them double-check their car doors, just in case the lizard man decides to make another appearance. Coming in at number 8 is the Devil's Chair in Missouri. Have you heard about the Devil's Chair? Deep in an old cemetery where shadows dance and whispers echo, sits a peculiar stone throne. Not just any chair. They say it belongs to the devil himself. Local legend warns that when the clock strikes midnight, this seemingly innocent piece of cemetery furniture transforms into something sinister. The brave, or perhaps foolish, souls who dare to sit in it discover its dark power firsthand. They say a cold, ghostly hand reaches up from below, ready to drag the unfortunate visitor straight down to hell. But here's the twist. Some whisper of dark gifts bestowed upon those who survive the encounter. Year after year, teenagers challenge each other to sit in the chair at midnight. Most laugh it off the next day, but others, well, they're never quite the same. Their eyes hold a haunted look, and they refuse to speak of what happened. Even as the stone crumbles with time, the legend of the Devil's Chair grows stronger. Maybe some stories are better left as warnings than challenges to be conquered. Number 7 takes us to Maryland for the Snallygaster. In the misty hills of Maryland, German settlers once whispered tales of a terrifying creature that haunted their nightmares. The Snallygaster. This wasn't your ordinary monster story. This beast was said to have wings like a dragon, writhing tentacles, and an iron beak with razor-sharp steel teeth that could tear through flesh and bone. The fear was so real that farmers would paint mysterious 5-pointed stars on their barns, desperately trying to ward off this aerial predator. Their livestock would vanish without a trace, leaving nothing but eerie silence behind. In 1909, newspaper headlines exploded with sightings of the creature, spreading panic across the region. The stories became so widespread that even the Smithsonian Institution got involved, offering a reward for anyone who could capture this mysterious beast. Though the Snallygaster has now faded into legend, old-timers still warn their children about the monster that once ruled these skies. Some say on quiet nights you can still hear the beating of its wings, reminding us that some mysteries of the dark are better left unexplored. Number 6, we have the Melonheads of Connecticut. Late at night, when fog rolls through the twisted back roads of Connecticut, locals say something sinister lurks in the shadows. They call them the melon heads, small humanoid creatures with grotesquely swollen skulls watching, waiting. The story goes that they were once patients who escaped from a nearby asylum, or perhaps victims of cruel medical experiments gone wrong. Whatever their origin, they've made these woods their home. A long Dracula drive, as fearful residents call it. Drivers report shadowy figures darting between trees, chasing their cars down lonely stretches of road. The creatures seek refuge in abandoned houses deep in the forest, their inhuman screams piercing the darkness. While no one's ever captured proof of these mysterious beings, the whispered stories persist. So next time you're driving these back roads at night and catch movement in your rearview mirror, well, maybe it's best not to look too closely. For number 5, we're looking to the skies in Flatwoods, West Virginia. Picture this: a chilly September night in 1952, when the quiet town of Flatwoods, West Virginia, was about to become the center of one of America's most chilling UFO encounters. It started with a bright object streaking across the sky, cutting through the fog like a knife. A group of brave locals decided to investigate, but what they found would haunt them forever. There, in the misty darkness, stood something straight out of your worst nightmares. A towering creature over 10 feet tall, with a hooded spade-shaped face and eyes that glowed. But that wasn't all. A thick, sickening mist filled the air around it, making the witnesses violently ill. They ran, terrified, and who could blame them? Sure, skeptics try to write it off as just a barn owl and some swamp gas, but the people of Flatwoods know better. Today you'll find museums, signs, and souvenirs celebrating this infamous encounter, and while some might laugh it off, the legend of the Flatwoods monster refuses to die, living on in the whispers of locals and the imagination of visitors who dare to explore this haunting tale. Next up, at number 4, is the Louisiana Swamp Monster. Deep in Louisiana's Honey Island Swamp, where the cypress trees weep and the fog never lifts, something terrifying lurks in the shadows. It all began in 1963, when a local hunter's ordinary day turned into a nightmare he'd never forget. There, in the murky waters, he encountered a beast that defied explanation. A massive, hairy creature towering over 7 feet tall. Its yellow eyes pierced through the darkness like burning lanterns, watching, waiting from behind the twisted trees. The air grew thick with an unbearable stench of decay, so powerful it made even the toughest outdoorsman gag. The evidence it left behind? Bizarre four-toed footprints preserved in plaster casts, unlike anything known to science. Some locals dismissed it as an escaped circus animal gone wild in the bayou. But others, they speak in whispers of something far more sinister. Something that's called these swamps home since before humans dared to venture here. Even today, as the mist rolls across those dark waters, the Honey Island monster remains one of Louisiana's darkest mysteries, a secret the swamp keeps locked away in its shadowy depths. Our number 3 spot goes to the Missouri River Sprint. On misty evenings along the Missouri River, when the sun dips below the horizon and shadows stretch across the water, old-time fishermen speak of something that sends chills down their spines. They tell of a pale, ethereal figure that rises from the murky depths, its form barely visible against the darkening sky. At first you might mistake it for river fog until you see it move with purpose. Strange things happen on these waters. Perfectly good boats disappear into sudden patches of mist, never to be seen again. And on the stillest of nights, mysterious lantern lights dance across the waves, but when other boats approach, there's no one there to hold them. The old-timers say this ghostly guardian isn't malicious. It's a warning. When it appears, storms are coming or tragedy lurks ahead. So if you're ever on the Missouri at dusk and you see something pale rising from the water, maybe it's best to head back to shore. The runner-up at number 2 is the Howler in the Ozarks. Deep in the heart of the Ozarks, where mist clings to ancient trees like ghostly fingers, something stalks the wilderness. Hunters speak in hushed whispers about piercing red eyes that glow in the darkness, watching, waiting. The locals call it the Howler. Its cry, a bone-chilling blend of wolf and banshee, echoes through the valleys, making even the bravest souls shudder. Massive claw marks, scored impossibly high in tree trunks, tell tales of a creature that defies explanation. Terrified campers report being circled in the dead of night, hearing deep growls that seem to come from everywhere and nowhere. Those who've glimpsed it describe a massive black beast, crowned with twisted horns and a thick wild mane. But perhaps most chilling of all are the whispers that the Howler isn't just a creature. It's an omen. When its cry pierces the night, tragedy follows like a shadow. Every local knows, when the Howler calls, death walks close behind. In these mountains, some legends aren't just stories. Some legends have teeth. And finally, our number one creepiest encounters, Missouri's Zombie Road. Deep in the heart of Missouri lies a seemingly innocent trail with a haunting past. What was once known as Lawlerford Road has earned a far more sinister name, Zombie Road. Back in the 1800s, this winding dirt path through dense woods served as a lifeline for Native Americans, settlers, and Civil War soldiers. But something darker lurked beneath its historic surface. Over the years, the road became a magnet for tragedy. Mysterious drownings, unexplained murders, and fatal accidents plagued these woods. But that was just the beginning. As dusk falls, locals whisper about shadowy figures that emerge from the tree line, silently watching passing visitors. Even more chilling are tales of the zombie killer, a dark entity said to stalk young couples who dared to venture there at night. Today, hikers report phantom footsteps following their every move, while paranormal investigators capture unexplained orbs and voices in their equipment. Though it's now just a walking trail, when darkness descends, the ancient spirits of Zombie Road still make their presence known. Some places hold on to their secrets, and this haunted path continues to whisper its terrifying tales through the rustling leaves.